Hey y'all, if you are out there, say hello. Happy Tuesday. I am trying to do some things today. I'm going to show y'all my to-do list. Y'all not going to believe it. I set up a to-do list and I'm sticking with it. I am sticking with it. I didn't get a lot done though. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, I did not get a lot done, but I'm still sticking with it. I'm gonna show you in a second. Let's see. But first, I'm trying to do some housekeeping. Let's see who's out there. Somebody said early. No, I'm on time for a change. Hey, Paul, Archerie, Robin, Paul, Desiree, Dorcas, Latrice said early today. Girl, Blessed for Life says blessings. Reese, congrats on your media company. Thank you. Faria, hey Faria. Paul Dillon reminds us that Kamala is on Joy Reid tonight. I'm very excited about that. I definitely have my DVR set. Oh my God, tonight so much is going on. Okay, Kamala's on Joy Reid, or the readout, let's be clear. Versus with Snoop Dogg versus DMX, which I don't know how that's a good matchup. I'm team Snoop Dogg. Is at 8. Greenleaf is at 9, and then I have the Greenleaf recap with my girls at 10:15. So my night is already booked and busy, okay? Hey, Fandom, James, Danielle, David, hey David, Noemi, Robin, I have multiple Robins. Dr. C, the 33. Derek, I appreciate Derek. Derek always says receive receipts. Hey Luthaza, Donnie. You needed what today? I know you're not talking about me. I know you're not talking about my little show. Hey Mel, Peppies, Tim, John. I was told to care. Nikki, Mark, Jordana, and Jason. Okay, let me show y'all this. This is my to-do list. It's a chalkboard. And I have, let me see what I do with the marker shells. Did I put them up in here? I might not have put them in here. I might have, they're over there. I'm not going to get it. But I finally got this. I actually bought it last week and I kept it in a box because I don't want to say lazy. Remember, we're not calling ourselves lazy. And so I said, all right, well, let me, thank you for giving me some credit, okay? So I got it out of the box and I said, all right, next step is take it upstairs. So it took me almost a week to get it upstairs, but I said, I'm going to make a list. It's 12 things on this list. And I'm not being a super zealot about it, okay? Like the first thing it says, get out of bed by 10 a.m. It was like 10:15. But I will say, having this list on my nightstand, I kind of was like, okay, bitch, you said get your ass up and get out of bed by 10:15, by 10 o'clock. It's 10:15, so you didn't make it on time. Don't get back in bed and go take a nap, because I was really wanting to take a nap. Okay, I really did. Number 2, and you know what? The trick is to put little victories on here. So I put batteries in the keyboard. Because I bought this goddamn keyboard. Okay? And the shit said rechargeable. Got it. And it was fucking needs batteries. So I was like, are you kidding me? So that was another thing that stayed downstairs for some time. Get 10 minutes of fresh air. I haven't done that yet. So I need to do that. Eat lunch by 1 p.m. I didn't accomplish that. Write an op-ed. I'm going to write an op-ed, y'all. My husband actually gave me the idea, but I didn't have time to do that today. Respond to my Marco Polos. I got to do that. But the whole reason for this is I did do update images for my lives. I said number 9, live stream on time at 5 p.m. And I did it! Number 9 on my list. I did it! So, it's a small thing. Small victories. You may not get it all done, but yeah, I'm taking it one day at a time, one list at a time. Okay, let's see. Let me go back and read some of your comments. Hey, B Dizzle, David. Good game versus is when Is it Wednesday or is it tonight? I thought it was tonight. Wednesday would be better because, well, I guess it wouldn't make that much of a difference. But I thought it was tonight. Y'all tell me. Let's see. Versus. Oh, no, it's Wednesday. Okay. Hey, Jackie. Claudius. Patrice says, my mom is a super fan of yours. That is so great. I love to hear that. Hey, Pam. And Noemi, I just appreciate you again for being so encouraging about my very, very small accomplishment. Hey, C. Merritt. Pam says, love a list. Noemi says, I had a 9 a.m. meeting this morning. I felt like it was 6 a.m. I know, right? 9 a.m. I could do 9 a.m. though. I can definitely do 9 a.m. Hey, Jennifer, alert oriented. Let's see. The 33 says, I honestly feel like Senator Kamala Harris is going to be the VP pick. I feel it in my bones, and it would just be a huge misstep for her to not be it. I agree that it would be a huge misstep. But we're going to get to that in a second. Nikki says, I need to do a to-do list. I'm a mess. You know, my sister Season, who does the recaps with me for Greenleaf, she's big on lists. She is so serious about her list. And so I'm like, well, you know, she's really good about getting the stuff done on her list. So I was like, well, maybe if I get a list, I'll hold myself more accountable. I'll be more motivated. And today I think it's working so far, but I have to stick with it. Perligman says, I started an op-ed last week and I haven't finished it yet. Yeah, it's hard, right? I mean, I've never written an op-ed before, but I was like, let me do it. My husband suggested this. I was like, hey, let me do it. What's the op-ed about? The op-ed I plan to write about is, what do you guys think? It's going to be about Black woman and the VP, the discussion around that. I don't know if anybody will publish the shit yet. It might just end up on my Medium post. But, you know, it can't get published if you don't write it. And what does Toni Morrison say? I'm pretty sure it was Toni Morrison. Somebody will definitely correct me if I'm wrong. Is that if a story isn't written, I'm paraphrasing, then be the one to write it. And so that's what I plan on doing. That's what I plan to do. I got to do it. That's the key. I got about 250 words though. So I'm on my way. Hey, Jackie, Shantae, Mara, Melanated, Suzanne, let's see, Matt, Samuel, Fanny, Jermaine, Desiree, Courtney, Toya, Champ. Yes, let's talk about Joy's show. That's a great segue to the topics. I don't know if you guys saw the list of what I said I was going to talk about. Okay, I just have to read this one comment by Lazy Eye Ranch. She says, I can't stay in bed much past 7 a.m. I have 21 goats that start yelling as soon as the sun comes up. I have to let them out to graze. Kamala gets my vote. I'm in SoCal. We love her here. You literally have goats? Well, you have ranch in your name, so that would make sense, Chad. We got a whole rancher. Who would have thought? Ranchers watching Black women views. That you would not put two and two together with that, would you? I think that's pretty cool. Chad, I 100% would not be getting my ass up at no 7 a.m. for nothing. Let's see. I can ask Dame if they take it. I talked to the founder. Oh, that's a good idea. I'm gonna write it, and then I'm gonna see how I'm gonna get it out there. You know, I'm my own media, so I can always put it on my own shit. But it would be more helpful if it had a wider distribution. So I'm gonna figure it out. Trust me. You know, baby steps. I gotta crawl before I walk. Hey, Jen. Mindy says you got a Joy shout out. You know, you're the second person to say that, and I didn't catch that part of Joy. And I asked my mom and I asked my sister, and they're like, I didn't hear that. So I don't know what y'all talking about. Somebody gonna have to send me a clip, chat. I'm looking for her episode from yesterday to see if maybe, you know, I missed something. But I did not see that. So yeah, but if she did shout me, I think that's really, really awesome of her. But I don't know if y'all heard something that nobody else heard though. Who said I got shout out? I don't know what y'all heard. If y'all took her saying something as directed towards me and it wasn't something everybody else picked out on, or if she specifically said me. But Mindy said right at the end, okay, y'all, I trust and verify. But if y'all have a clip, if you DVR'd it or something, let me know because I didn't catch that. Okay, multiple people are saying they thought I heard a shout out. Okay. Now I have it DVR'd today. I didn't DVR it yesterday, but I have it DVR'd today because Kamala's on chill. And Pam says I missed it. I would have been screaming. That's what I thought. But anyway, okay. So let's talk about Joy though. Tonight is the readout. We've already been reminded that Kamala is going to be on tonight. But let's talk about last night. So Joe Biden was on Joy Reid, her new show, The Readout, 7 p.m. Eastern. And he was asked by Joy if he was going to pick a black woman or if he would commit to black woman VP. Now, this is how shit gets twisted up. I don't know if my mom is watching right now, but my mom said that Joe Biden just committed to picking a black woman VP on Joy Reid, and I was like, now I didn't hear that, but let me just go back and double check the clip. And he explicitly did not commit to picking a black woman VP. He literally said, I will not commit to that. Okay. Lazy said, what program is Kamala going to be interviewed on? She's going to be on Joy Reid tonight on MSNBC. The Readout, 7 p.m. Eastern. So I was like, girl, what are you talking about? Like, he literally said, no, that's not what he was committing to. So you have my mom who heard that he is committing to a black woman VP, even though he explicitly said he wasn't. But then you had on the other side, Howard Feynman, who took what Joe Biden said to say that he's leaning towards Elizabeth Warren. I'm like, where the fuck did you get Elizabeth Warren out of what Joe Biden said? Like, nothing that he said was even in the ballpark of Elizabeth Warren or committing to a black woman. My sister said mom was hearing shit. Hey Carl, my friend wants to hear about Kanye. I'll speak a little bit on Kanye. I don't want to talk about Kanye too much though. Anyway, so let's just dissect it. So he said that he was not going to commit to picking a black woman to VP, but then he also, said that there are 4 women being vetted. Now, if y'all believe the other short list, there are 3 black women, but of course you can't say that because then everybody knows those 3 black women are. All you have to do is look at Joe Biden's upcoming schedule and see, his fundraisers, who's really involved with that, to see that it's probably really 3 black women, but maybe he's 3 to 4. Let's just say 3 to 4, right? But what I don't like is I don't like the deflection. I don't like the pivoting. He said, oh, well, y'all are acting like this is something new. Black voters have always supported me. I've always gotten over 90% support when Delaware has, I don't know, he said the 8th largest black population or something like that, whatever he was talking about. And then he goes into this whole thing, my whole cabinet and the Supreme Court will look like America and all X, Y, and Z. Here's my thing. That's all fine, but you need to pick a black woman to be VP. The obvious choice, the appropriate choice is Kamala Harris. And that's just that on that, right? I mean, it's really a no-brainer. Do not snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. Carl says, I don't believe anyone should be forced to pick a VP based on their skin color. Nobody is forcing you to pick a VP based on their skin color. What we're saying is that a skin color you have to take into account certain competencies that different races bring to the table. Okay? That's what we're saying. Number one, you're picking the most qualified person irrespective of race with picking Kamala Harris. But I'm not going to make an argument that does not include race, because I do think that race is a valuable part of what Kamala brings to the table. I don't have to say, well, just pick the best person. That person is Kamala. You need to pick a black woman, and in picking a black woman, you would also be picking the most qualified person. Both of those things go hand in hand. They complement each other. That's the point that I've always made. Okay, so let's just be clear about that. So that's that. And, I understand. To me, and some people have said, well, I think that the person has already been chosen, and, this is all just misdirection. I don't believe that. Let me go to what my hubby says. He has a great comment. Presidents have been picking VPs based on skin color for centuries. That skin color just happened to be white. Isn't it interesting how when white people get picked, nobody says, oh, you shouldn't be picking somebody on the basis of skin color? When that's exactly what's happening. I've been said it. We have a white is right problem in this country. We have a white is right problem in the Democratic Party. Be clear. That's why we ended up with Joe Biden as the damn nominee. But because we have a white is white problem, nobody says, well, you pick that person because they're white. Because by default of a person being white, they are considered to be the most qualified. They consider it to be a merit-based decision. When it's a white person, it's a merit-based decision. When it's a black person, it's a race-based decision. That's how everything is framed. That's what I'm going to make this goddamn op-ed about. Okay? But I can say pick a black person. That's also a merit-based decision. Carl says if the goal is to get a black woman, fine. But if the goal is to have the most qualified. See, that's where you fucking up. You said but. You said black woman and then you said but. Again, the most qualified is a black woman. Period. Period. Point blank, period. And that's the problem. There's always a but when it comes to black women. Meanwhile, all these mediocre ass motherfuckers that's getting picked, are they the best? No. Was Sarah Palin the best? No. But she got picked, didn't she? Hello? So there ain't no but when it comes to black women. Let's see. But anyway, the whole motherfucking point of what I'm saying is, you can have, first of all, multiple black people. The whole cabinet, you can have a lot of black people. I appreciate that. But you need to have a black woman VP. You can have a black woman Supreme Court, but you need to also have a black woman BBP. A white man being Supreme Court has never stopped a white man VP. Matter of fact, that's all we've had in the history of this country is white men VPs. So you can have a black woman VP and a black woman Supreme Court Joe Biden. Why not? Democrats need Biden plans, right? Okay, we want black. And y'all know the word. They know black because then they say black. The blacks have been with me for all this time. Yeah. Okay, and if you want to keep the blacks, then you need to pick a black woman to be VP. Let me see. I'm trying to read in some of y'all comments instead of just getting on my soapbox. Why are they automatically assumed to be mutually exclusive? Exactly. Black and qualified. And I have been singing this tune for months. You can be black and competent. Black and qualified. I know it because I know plenty of black women that are the baddest, including myself. Okay? It's not too often I walk into a room and somebody is doing what I do and they do it better than me. I haven't seen it yet. Unless it was another black woman up in that room, like my mom. Me and her do the same shit. When she was in the room, she got me beat. But if it wasn't her, then it was nobody else up in there fucking with me when it comes to what I do. I'm not talking about this Twitter shit. I'm talking about in real life. Okay. Let me see. Carl says, I'm not saying she's not. Those are two separate points. Let's see. The thing is, white people don't talk about picking a white person. They just do it. It's time for us to not talk about it. Just do it. They don't, this white people don't talk about whiteness in the same way that we do. Because you don't have to say, oh, I'm picking a white person. You just say I'm picking a person. Right? Because white is the default. And then we the others. So yeah, they don't say, oh, I'm gonna make sure I pick a white person. They say I'm gonna pick a person that appeals to the Midwest. I want to pick a person that appeals to the working class. But the white is silent in front of Midwest. The white is silent in front of the working class. They just don't put it out there. We are in a position where we have to stipulate black Because if we just say person, motherfuckers ain't gonna think black. They gonna think person. They gonna think white. So that's the dynamic that we have in this country. So no. Well, let's just talk about picking a white person. What do they say when they want to pick a white person? They say we don't want to play identity politics. They minimize identity like white isn't an identity. That's the games that be played. You might learn some. Keep listening. Who do you think should be AG? I really don't care, to be honest with you. AG, it is a lot of very qualified people to be AG. Let's see. We always have to wait our turn. A turn that never fucking comes. You right, real talk. Ain't that a bitch? My whole thing is this. How much more is it going to take before motherfuckers realize, before they grow that spine somebody talked about earlier? Joe Biden is up 10, 15 points. He's leading or very close in places that Democrats would never have a chance of winning any other election cycle. He is up so high. And yet you still have people that are shook. Like a black woman would be some sort of drag on the ticket. Even though a black woman gets you all of the qualifications and then some as other people on the list, people still feel like, oh no, it's going to take white to beat Trump. Fuck is wrong with y'all? Y'all the back of the bus primary, the back of the bus election people. And ain't nobody trying to hear what the fuck you talking about. What would y'all think about a non-black woman, woman of color like Tammy Duckworth? You said it right there. Non-black. That's not going to work. I said black. And I meant black. Not a lot of people were willing to say that. I'm going to be honest with you. But I'm one of those people. Tammy Duckworth is very, very accomplished. She has a great, background. She's a military hero. Tammy Duckworth is not a black woman. Tammy Duckworth is not a substitute for a black woman. Tammy Duckworth's experience is not a substitute for a black woman's experience, for black people's experience. She has her own set of valuable, rich experiences, but they're not black people's experience. That's what I'm looking for right now. So, no to Tammy Duckworth or any woman of color that's not black. Now, anybody else is free to advocate for their choice. I'm telling you what I want. Let's see. If the Biden campaign wants to win, picking a qualified black woman would boost voter turnout. Here's the thing about that. I don't like to make an argument based on electability. Because again, live by the polls, die by the polls, and things like that. But here is what I will say, and this goes into the discussion that I want to have about Biden's numbers of black voters and even Latino voters. They have not been good. He is running behind Hillary Clinton. Now, I know that people get so pissed off when people point out data like that. But the reality is that Biden has been polling behind Hillary Clinton in terms of voter preferences with the black community, the blacks. Okay. And so I know that Joe Biden believes that he has the blacks and the Biden campaign believes that they have the blacks, but the data says something else, Chad. Now, do I think that a black woman is a silver bullet? Not necessarily. And my argument for a black woman VP has never been about votes. It's never been about electability. It's always been about governing and about cultural competency. But here's what a black woman gets you that an Elizabeth Warren for damn sure the fuck doesn't get you. And that a person like Tammy Duckworth does not get you. That black number can change. A good way for it to change is through outreach. I know Maya is going to do a Mayathon on July 27th, and she's going to talk about things like this. But one of the things that she's talked about and other people have talked about are that black people and Latino people like something to root for, like something to be for. We all know that you're not Trump, okay? We all know that Trump got to go. But is that going to be enough to get people to the voting booths? Now, there's some people that say, well, if that ain't enough, Okay, well, that's not helpful. If that argument was going to work, he wouldn't be at 78% with the black vote, okay? But what a black woman VP gets you, number one, is something to root for. It's a historic, it would be a historic thing. But number two, particularly, and I can vouch for Kamala. I've seen other people, and I don't think that all the black women are at the same level in this regard, but I'm not going to denigrate anybody. But I can say with Kamala Harris specifically, you get a person who's able to go into black spaces and make the case in a very persuasive way for Joe Biden. And black spaces tend to be a little adversarial. So you need somebody who can conduct themselves in a way that is going to be able to make the case for Joe Biden, make the case for themselves, and take a little friendly fire, okay? Because it's going to be motherfuckers that'll go in there and get eaten alive. They are not capable of having conversations in aggressively black spaces. They can't go on Joe Budden's podcast, State of the Nation, with Joe Budden and Remy Ma, and have a conversation in the way that Kamala Harris was able to do. Or go on Ebro in the morning and have a conversation. Or go on The Breakfast Club and have a conversation. And so it's not just those places, but it's all of these black spaces. You need a person to go into those spaces and make the case and get you enthusiastic. And so having a person who's willing to do that work and has the cultural competency to do that work, that's where that 78% number gets better. And here's the thing. I wouldn't want to have to explain to black people why you passed over. Now you done said it's four black people that's on your list, on your short list, and you passed over all of them. That's going to be a hard pill to swallow. You can say whatever the fuck you want to say about Supreme Court or this position or that position. You're not going to be able to explain that away. Carl says, when you get her at VP, can you get me invited to the White House? I'm calling in that request. Hell no, I can't, because you was just sitting up there 5 seconds ago talking about that you shouldn't pick somebody who based on their race. No, you cannot get invited on my account, Carl. Sorry, I need people who are like, no, you need a black woman VP. Now people who like, well, I don't know, I don't care. If you don't care, then you don't care to get invited. I'm sorry, you my homie and all. You can come kick it at the house. But when it comes to invitations, it's some ride or die Kamala people out there. They'll have priority over somebody who just 5 minutes ago said they don't have to be a black woman. Shade said, no black person is leading the White House now looking over the shit for an okay. C. Mary says, in my opinion, we need another 100 women in Congress just because of being women. Half the population way are underrepresented. Yeah, I agree. You know what? Speaking of that, let me go on ahead and pivot because I've been on a rant, but I want to talk about Congress for a second. I want to talk about AOC. But let me read through your comments before I change the subject. Sarah Palin was picked because a white man was running against a black man. Yeah, you know, she was the diversity person, right? You know, they was like, oh, okay, well, you know, they're trying to make history over here, so let me try to make history over here. You can't do it without the blacks. Oh, and another thing, I just want to keep reiterating, Kamala Harris doesn't just have support from black people, which to me is a big deal, that she can get that support and foster that support. But she has a lot of support from the Latino community. Again, let me remind y'all, she has the endorsement from the largest Spanish-speaking newspaper, La Opinión. And she has ties with the AAPI community, particularly the Indian community. So she can do it all. That's that cultural competency of being in public service for decades and establishing these coalitions, these multiracial coalitions, multi-ethnic coalitions, and being in service to people that have different backgrounds. California is a very diverse state. And so she knows how to maneuver in all of these places and to think about all of these different demographics, including the Native American community. Also be clear about that, because she always makes it a point to include Native American tribal communities, so I have to make sure that I keep that in my mind as well. Let's say, when did he say it was down to 6? I don't know if he said it was down to 6 people specifically. Let's see. Bernadette says the black woman has to be overqualified just to be included in the conversation. Right. And to be honest, I think a lot of black women, owe it to Kamala for being included in the conversation because she ran for president. And so a lot of it, and I'm not trying to shade anybody, I'm not trying to diminish anybody, but a lot of it was this black woman, not that black woman. Kind of like when Hillary was running, it was, not Hillary, Elizabeth Warren. And when Elizabeth Warren ran, she lost 19 races and never placed above third. So was it really not Hillary but Elizabeth Warren? Or was y'all just trying to deflect? Let's see. Just because he's been supported by black people doesn't mean we're not going to push a black woman. Yeah, I agree. And Tiffany Cross said this, and I've said this many, many times. Even last year, I was saying this, that you have to come to the black community with receipts. And black people have a right to ask for what we want. Evangelicals do it. When you come to the evangelical community, you got to have your list of anti-abortion, anti-gay marriage judges. You can't just walk up in there empty-handed with a pat on the head like, thank you, evangelicals. Y'all please vote for me. Y'all gonna keep voting for me. No. You have to come and you have to bring something to the table. So with black people, you got to bring something to the table for us. Okay, I'm so far behind on these comments. So let me scroll down. Let me scroll down. I like what C. Merritt says here. I'm just gonna read off some comments. Shit. To put racism to the grave requires conscious effort for change. There is never a right way or right time to demand changes. I agree. If it's a white woman, it won't be EW. Yeah, I think that's where Gretchen Whitmer, I don't know if you guys have noticed her name kind of rise from the ashes lately. She's a white is right pick. So I don't put it past them to do something like that. I've never said it was a smart move. Trust and believe that. But we have a white is right problem in this party. And I think that they are, if they want to play with fire, that's on them. But don't say you wasn't motherfucking warned, okay? Let's see. Not just any black woman receive. No, I agree. Okay, sorry, I'm just trying to scroll down. I'm so far behind. Okay, let's move on. I'm gonna keep reading these comments. Let's talk about AOC. So I don't know if you guys saw, AOC, I guess, got into a heated discussion with Ted Yahoo, however you say his name. And he called her a fucking bitch. That is so disrespectful. Now, I know that there was a story going around about how Liz Cheney was pushing back on the Republican men and her thing. And, whatever the case may be. But you cannot tell me that they was up in there calling Liz Cheney no fucking bitch. Like how they called AOC. Now, AOC, she has her share of detractors. And, that's fine. That people may or may not like her opinion or what she does, her politics, whatever. But, when I see a woman of color, I don't even really like to use that word, but I'm going to just say it in this case. When I see a Latina woman that's being disrespectful despite her status of a congresswoman, and if y'all watch these congressional things, now this didn't happen on the Congress floor, but they're very serious about their decorum and their civility and shit like that. And so to talk to her that way is so abusive. And I'm going to say that it's racist because he will never talk to a white woman like that. Never. So I apparently he's going to be called in by Kevin McCarthy. I don't know if he's going to do shit. But all I have to say to tell you who is fuck you very much. Put some respect on AOC's name. When you talk to a woman with motherfucking respect. Especially if you're talking to a woman of color, a Latina woman, a black woman. Because you bound to get slapped. Now, if AOC would have slapped the shit out of him, then it would have been, oh, she doesn't know how to handle herself. It would have been all kind of, insults towards her. But this motherfucker sitting up there talking about fucking bitch. It's a goddamn shame. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the disrespect. They need to stop. You don't have to like AOC like that, but that's your peer, and you cannot talk to her like that. And that to me is just such a level of disrespect that is just very uncommon in terms of what we see in terms of the civility in Congress. It's very, very uncommon because them Republicans get completely unhinged if they feel any kind of slight. So to hear him say that, that's disgusting. And you can only imagine what these motherfuckers are saying behind closed doors. Jermaine, I'm going to go back to some earlier comments. The Hollywood of me knows that a candidate's star power factors heavily. Our society loves a hero. Many are drawn to heroes for that reason. I agree. Let's see. Dolores Huerta. Yes, I know she's a big Kamala supporter. They wrote an op-ed together. H says, Reese have dedicated multiple rosary beads to Kamala being VP. I love that. This is the home stretch, y'all. This is the home stretch. For people who think that it's all sewn up, it's not. So this is the time to be vocal. It's the time to advocate. It's the time to, answer those stupid ass surveys. They already got your email anyway. Just answer the surveys at the campaign. Let people know. And more importantly, what did I say the other day? Talk to people in real life. That helps too. Okay? Talk to people in real life, especially on Facebook, because Facebook is the worst. MD Turp says, even my more conservative Puerto Rican family members think Biden should pick Kamala. The La Opinion endorsement sealed the deal because they read that religiously. Yep. I agree. And just to return back, because I see a lot of people talking about the 4 different black women. Representation does not mean dangling, okay? You can sit up there and say, well, I looked at all these black women, but I didn't pick anything. Let me tell y'all a story about corporate America. Let me tell you how corporate America works. Me and my husband, we were looking for a job. We were employed, but we wanted to relocate. And, we are in corporate America. They have these diversity statistics, right? You have to interview a black person, or you have to, push a person of color or minority or whatever the fuck the little terminology is to the next level. Even if you have no intention whatsoever of hiring that person, even if you already have a person, a white man usually, that you want to interview because of the diversity metrics, you have to consider a person of color, right? And so what I noticed, and my husband noticed, we were working for the same company, applying internally. And what we noticed is that every time we made it to the interview stage, the requisition that we applied for was closed and a new one was put in place. So for our one job that we were applying for, there was always 2 or more requisitions once we got to the interview stage. So if you just look at the metrics, it looks like, oh, okay, here are 2 different postings where we considered a black person. Isn't that interesting? So these are the kind of games that they play with the metrics. This is the kind of games they play when they want to make it seem like they're considering you. You ever know a black person, let's talk about internally again, that applies for a job, they ain't fucking qualified at all, but they always get an interview? It's because of those diversity metrics. Now, they don't get the fucking job because they're not qualified for it. But it's the metrics. It's the way that the diversity game is played. And we are the chips, the pawns on their diversity fucking playboard. So I recognize game. Game recognize game. I recognize when you're saying we're going to stack the board with pawns to make it seem like we're really seriously deliberating this. But when all is said and done, we're going to pick a white person. I'm not saying that's what happened. That's not, because the decision hasn't been made. But what I'm saying is, It's not good enough to consider. You don't get a cookie because you consider. Because I've been considered and I haven't gotten the job, even though I was the best person for the job. And almost everybody black I know has been considered and not gotten the job, even though they were the best. So don't humor me. I said this on one of my other lives. Don't humor me. Do what the fuck you're supposed to do. Don't consider me. Hire me. And pay me what the fuck you supposed to pay me. So I don't care if Joe Biden fucking is considering 30 black women. If you don't pick one, it don't mean shit to me. It means that you were never serious, because you cannot look past all these black women and say, no thanks, blackies. But thank you for all the fundraisers that you did. Thank you for all the town halls that you did. Thank you for all the videos that you shared. Thank you, but next. White is right, and this is who I'm going with. Let me catch up. Time to begin next 400 years of strength. I love the cultural competency aspect of the discussion. Hit that hard in your op-ed. Yep. I'm coming up with ideas as I'm talking to y'all. Let me see. I'm trying to catch up. Somebody says Kamala ride or die, but Susan Rice could be the pick because she's the least intrusive and won't hog the spotlight from Biden. I don't put it past Biden to pick anybody other than Kamala. I've never said, oh, it's definitely going to be Kamala. I've said this is what I advocate very strongly for, and this is what I believe is the best. And I'm not going to denigrate Susan Rice in any way by talking about, why, I don't think she's a better pick than Kamala. But, yeah, I'll leave it at that. Let's see. Oh, Ted Yoho is a senator? Did I miss that? Did I get that wrong? I don't know. I don't be knowing all these motherfuckers, to be honest with you. Because Ted Yoho is not somebody that I follow, aside from the fact that his punk ass sat up there and called, no, okay. No, I don't know who you're talking about, but Ted Yoho, the person I'm talking about, is a congresswoman. So maybe I'm mistaking your comment about something else. Let's see. McCarthy called for an apology. Did his podcast apologize? Hey, Jahari. I love how Jahari says, hey, cousin Reese. Florida. Yeah. Okay, I knew I wasn't tripping. Let me see. Thank you, Grim. It took me 5 minutes to get my white dad back on track for Harris for VP. See, that's why, you got to talk to people in real life. Let's see. Kamala has earned named ID with opposition, won't be attacked based on experience. Yeah, they really are reaching now, jail. They are reaching so hard to find something on Kamala. All they can talk about is her appearance and other stupid bullshit. But you know what? Guess what? It's not gonna work. Work in accounting, black people are paid less than white people doing the same work. This is on a tangent, but a big reason, and there are systemic reasons why black people are paid less. Be clear about that. There's discrimination, right? But black people generally are not as conditioned to counter, right? Or to negotiate for their salary. And that was something, one of my bosses is a black woman, and she told me how it amazed her how every white person that she offered a job to always countered. And how the black people almost never countered. And so that's, this is anecdotal. I don't have any scientific evidence to this. But if you're watching this, regardless of your race, if you get an offer, counter. I'm not saying you have to reject the offer. But a good question is, hey, is this negotiable? Is this the best and final? Those are the kinds of things that you want to ask before you just accept whatever the first number that's thrown onto you. Now, maybe perhaps the number sounds very good and very fair and you don't want to counter. That's on you. But before you accept that, make sure that that number is a good number, and Glassdoor.com is a very good resource, particularly for bigger companies, because you can kind of see salaries for other people in those companies. So that's a resource. But bottom line, or at least ask if you can counter before accepting the job. Okay? Let's see. Also, I have to admit how hard I giggled at Jason Overstreet was upset with Joy Reid's framing of the question, have you committed to a black woman as VP? Yeah, that was weird to be triggered by. A lot of people are asking that question. I don't think that was an unfair question. You done dang a black woman all fucking years, so it's a fair question. I'm on Soul Places. I'm on my 5th interview on Thursday with a company that recruited me, but at this point I could care less if I get the job. I feel like I've been through the ringer. Thank God I've never had those kind of experiences. I just never been interested in that, but also my field is not one of those kind of fields where they do all that stupid shit. They usually want somebody who can get the fucking job done and want somebody and quit. So they don't do all that kind of, jerking you the fuck around. Let's see. Corporate America is famous for hiring mediocre white folk. I'm in meetings sometimes thinking, damn, these knee pads must be sturdy for you to not only get, but keep this job because you're an idiot. Who are the others of the 4? So, okay, I think that the 4 is pretty safe to say. It's Kamala Harris, Susan Rice, Karen Bass, and then the 4th person, either you could say Val Demings or Keisha Lance Bottoms, but I don't think that it's actually 4. I think that it's 3. Glamuary says, everybody loves you till you are vetted. Let's see. Cindy Hoyer called for a personal apology, one on the floor. That will be appropriate. All right, let me see. Let me catch up. I'm going to hop off in a minute as soon as I catch up. It's easy to hire a diverse representative team. Any company that isn't doing that is playing that game. My hub employer makes that the true commitment and see the results. I agree. It's actually not hard to find qualified people. When you don't hire based on cronyism, when you don't have a white is right mentality, when you're willing to pay black people a fair wage, you can find talented people. People of color. You can find diverse people. G says, Reese, black folks think you get that far and rock the boat, negotiate. You may be told, don't call us, we'll call you. And that's why I think that the approach is important. You just have to say, is this the best and final offer, or is this negotiable? I think a lot of people don't even want to ask that question. Just ask that question. It doesn't hurt. Because I'm going to tell you one thing. Once they get your ass in there, they're not trying to pay you that much more. Okay? I know people who complain to me all the time about their salary. And I'm like, well, I don't know what to tell you. My hubby has good advice. He says, know your number and ask for 10% more. They usually have the money. Okay. You ever get someone and be like, damn, y'all motherfuckers is making bank. My boss asked me something one time when I recommend a person. He gonna sit up there and say, well, ballpark, are they under 250,000? I'm like, bitch, 250. You mean to tell me y'all paying motherfuckers $250,000 up in this bitch? So, yeah, like my husband said, ask for the money. Because somebody's making money up in this motherfucker, okay? I need to figure out how to be a consultant. Because them motherfuckers really make the money. They don't do half the shit anybody else is doing. They get paid bank. But anyways, Somebody said no Abrams. I don't know why y'all keep asking this question. Stacey Abrams said herself she has not been contacted by the Biden team. She said that weeks ago. So no, she's not being vetted. She's not in the running. Let me see. Yes, Kamala can go into these spaces, black spaces, and conduct herself fantastically. However, not every black space will be welcoming of her, especially if it is flavored with uber left philosophy, hotep, ism, ADOS, BLM, burned out ex Bernie bros, and Warren nieces. Be ready, because these cats will sharpen their knives. Don't even be surprised if these cats decide to sink so as to bring up KDH's father has not been as big as shit. Well, they've been doing all that shit. That's nothing new. And Kamala Harris, here's the thing. All these motherfuckers that you just laid out, they're not people that can really go toe to toe, because they have skin deep, or they have very, very thin knowledge. They're not substantive in their arguments, but Kamala's not going to be sitting with the Intercept for no fucking interviews and no bullshit. She's not going to be on the Young Turks. So I'm not really worried about that. Sarah Harris is hosting Biden for presidential roundtable in North Carolina to discuss the Build Back Better plan this Thursday. Even if he doesn't pick her, she's working hard for him. He would be crazy to pass her up. I know that's another thing that's going to offend the fuck out of me. She been doing all these fucking events, child. And if she don't get picked on, like, so you just gonna use her black ass and cloud chase off of her, and then you gonna go pick somebody else who ain't done half the shit? That's fucked up. But did you guys see that Sarah, the Trump, I hate to say the Trump impersonator, but the comedian Sarah is going to be with Kamala Harris tomorrow? I'm so excited about that. I am so excited about that because she's so funny and she's a huge Kamala Harris fan. And so I think that's going to be a great live. You know, it goes back to what Star and I talked about. One of you guys referenced Star Jones and I conversation, credentials, not cosmetics. And one of the things in our 20 for 20 list was the it factor. So you guys remember the Get Up Stand Up event that was so much fun with all these world famous DJs. And Sarah is like, everybody knows Sarah. Everybody loves Sarah. And so, you know, Kamala can pull in people that are pretty fucking cool and make it a thing that's pretty fucking cool. And that's something that the Biden campaign could use more of. It could use a little bit more of the cool factor. Let me read a comment my husband said again. An old mentor told me, know your worth and then add tax, shipping, and handling. Okay. Yes. Chef Colbert in the house. All right, let me catch up. I'm about to hop off in a minute, y'all. But let me just catch up to what y'all talking about. Yeah, so Sarah Cooper and Kamala Harris tomorrow, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time at 6 p.m. for me. So y'all can hang out with me and then y'all can all go watch Sarah and Kamala chop it up. I think that's going to be so much fun. I cannot wait for that. I wonder if she does a Kamala impression. I moved to replace Maya Rudolph with Sarah Cooper if Kamala becomes the VP, because I think she would be perfect. Go ahead and put Sarah on Saturday Night Live. That's what she wants to do, and have her impersonate Kamala. I think she would nail it, because she has a certain level of respect. I thought Maya didn't really have the level of respect for Kamala that she really needed to, or the writers didn't. But I'm not gonna complain about some old shit. But I'm saying that I definitely believe that that Sarah would do a very good job as a Kamala impersonator. So yeah. All right, y'all. That's it. I got to the end. Sarah's a first generation Jamaican. I didn't know that. I did not know that. That's really cool. So they have a lot in common. I'm sure it's going to be a great conversation. Cannot wait. So yeah, y'all tune into that again. Kamala 7 p.m. tonight, 10:15 p.m. I will be back to talk about Greenleaf. So if you watch Greenleaf, come check that out with me, Season, and my cousin Brittany. It's going to be fun. Tomorrow back here, 5 p.m. Eastern. On time. It's going to be on my list, chat. It's going to be on my list. It's going to be on time. Okay? And y'all have a good night. Bye.